I want to give you a quick course preview. This is Harrison Johnson being followed by me, Aaron Losi, in the Corvette. I just want to give you an idea of how different this track looks from inside the car versus outside. So you're just going to get a view of how the track looks, how it flows, and then we're going to jump into the comp. This is going to be a raw Pro 2 comp, sorry, not Pro 2, Pro-Am from round 2 Lone Star Drift. That's why I said 2. There we go, let's get started. Okay, it's going to be a Monji entry down a very narrow straight. We're then going to dive into this inner. Those 3 barriers on the inside are the inner clip. We're way off of those. We are then going to transition here. Nice transition here. We're super close. We then need to be right where the Corvette is on line. Harrison is wide because he's letting me follow and trying to make a fun follow lap for me. He's a bit wide here, about 8 feet wide there. He now needs to come in. Right there, that's perfectly wide right there. That's perfect, that's good line. Now he's gonna be about 8 feet wide right here, but it's great for following. And there you go. If you watch the Corvette's line was a bit better through there just because it naturally tucks in as a follow car. Very nice. And we missed the inner clip on the beginning, way off. All right, welcome to the round 2 Pro-Am review video where Patrick Carson and I, say hi Patrick.
Howdy.
Are gonna review this footage. Now this is the very first battle that I have recorded. It is Adam LZ versus Trevor from Motion Auto TV, and it is amazing. This looks like it should be in the finals, but because Adam is a seated driver and Trevor is not, oh my God, this is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, because this is one of the first battles, Trevor, because he hasn't been to round 1, he's gonna get knocked out right here. Oh, I shouldn't give it away. Anyways, this is an amazing battle. It looks really good. Adam is on his door. Adam was on fire this whole event. It was good. All right, this is Michael Van Schellenbeck and
Dwayne Ramsey in his yellow banana boat P2 V3 car, actually.
Yup. So the viewpoint of all this is going to change a little bit, but we're going to tell you what happens on each lap. This lap, Dwayne Ramsey had some steering problems, and he was also kind of left at the beginning. Michael Van Schellenbeck's car is very fast, and he tends to accidentally drag race people sometimes. I mean, like...
While drifting, but like...
Well, no, down the straight, but I was going to say with 650 horsepower...
He kind of just pulls away on the straight every time. It's a guaranteed thing.
Yeah, I drag race people too. All right, here Dwayne has a much better entry than last time.
I can shake.
This lap is like a dogleg corner, and it's a very specific corner. It's kind of difficult, so it's easy to see from the judge's vantage point who's doing really well, but it's a little bit more difficult from this low angle from the cameraman what's going on. But we're gonna shift viewpoints in just a second.
That was a pretty easy decision on who won that one.
Yeah. All right, here comes 2 cars. The first car is having a bit of problem on entry. If, he spun. Right here on those barriers on the inside, you need to be inside right there. We're gonna start telling you if people are pushing wide there, and we'll be able to see if their line is off. This, right where that car also is right now, that's a dog leg corner. It's gonna be a little awkward for some of these drivers. The 350Z was very wide there on the wrong line, so that'd be a large deduction. However, the follow car spun, so basically the 350Z won.
The S13 was driven by an inexperienced driver with a stock KA motor.
That was KA? Wow, yes. Ooh, this is the old Tyler Cox Memorial car. It is now painted red. Still has a lot of the same parts on it. E85, LS1. It's the motor out of the old El Camino from Formula D, actually, which is kind of cool. You'll notice neither car is really stable in drift here. Both are having some issues. The S14 is not really throttle committed, and he keeps e-braking to stay in drift. A little bit of a mess. All right, they swap positions. Here they come down the straight. You can see that the E36 was not full throttle down the straight, it looked like. He was a little bit timid.
Pink. Lots of angle coming to the dogleg part.
Yeah.
Throws it big again, but very shallow.
The BMW was way wide on that first clip as well. Those inside barriers. It's gonna be a lot hard. Oh, that was almost a nice transition. The follow car is having a lot of trouble staying in drift. right, this is Spencer with a KAT. It's about 500 horsepower KAT. You'll notice the front car does a Manji entry, which most of the cars are doing, but instead of clutch kicking like the other cars, he's going to decelerate suddenly, which is going to screw up a lot of the other drivers because he's e-braking into the Manji. It's going to throw them off, and you'll notice that.
Exactly. A lot of drivers, the following drivers, not expecting the front car to e-brake Manji like entrance. I definitely wouldn't be expecting someone to do that. That's the incorrect way, I think, to do that. But it counts.
Yeah. Also, we're doing a hot lap scenario, so right there, they have a cone that they are got to go past at the same time, and some of the cars are being a little overzealous in jumping the gun right there, and they're not waiting properly for the other car. And how do I say this? We do have a rule where they are supposed to stop right there. The follow car, if he doesn't feel like he's getting a good chase, he's supposed to immediately stop, but no one ever does it. So we need a better pace cone situation.
The follow car literally just passed the lead car because the lead car couldn't keep a solid entrance going and just going in and out of drift. And now it's just grip driving behind the follow car. Look how tiny the little Miata looks.
Oh! He punted that.
Woo!
I didn't expect to see that. Now we have to go fix that.
I think that's Scott McDonald in the S14.
Mm-hmm. And that's Chandler O'Neill's old Miata who swapped to the Corvette. Or as I like to call it, the Dank Vet.
Very dank.
All right, he's super wide there, Scotch is. He should be much tighter to the inside. Miata's still having troubles. It's going to be a massive advantage to Scotch. Scotch has a pretty bad line, though. He's going to need to correct that.
Oh man. Big Manji. Another Manji.
Looks like he lost control of the car somehow.
I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah.
So I guess this is going to be one more time.
I wish we were funnier, like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh my gosh. Can we bring in some robots?
Bring in Harrison to drive. Ooh. Look at all the
Understeer.com!
I was going to say Adam really held it together behind him. I was also noticing how much left foot braking Adam was doing on entry. The purple car, by the way, is hailing all the way from Florida, and so is Adam. So that's 2 Florida cars here in Texas at the same event.
I like how perfectly timed Adam's transitions are, like right to that little alleyway.
Again,
all of them,
yeah.
they're all like perfectly timed, and there's no delay in between. That's really fun to watch, and drivers can transition like that.
All right, watch this gap open up here. Adam's only on 235s, but his car is pretty fast. Unfortunately, I think the SR is done in it again. I was chatting with him the other day, and he's having a problem.
I am not up to date on his current motor situation.
I wasn't either, he just told me about it.
Okay, so both drivers are transitioning pretty well. Ben is going to try to... I mean, he obviously blew it the last run, but he's doing okay this run so far.
You'll notice he fed in too much angle right there and kind of screwed himself. All right, here's a 350Z that probably makes 280 wheel max versus, if even that, versus...
oh no!
Van Schellenbeck. Oh, full, under,
Oh,
under,
look
under,
how...
under.
It looks like Van Schellenbeck was right behind him and just like cut inside, totally gave up. Trying to follow that, it's impossible. Yeah, it's together pretty well. Whee!
It's interesting how Michael Van Schellenbeck is adjusting his technique to be able to drive without tons of throttle and nuking the tires.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, there's no smoke coming out. You think he's just like super moderation of like how much tire he's using?
He told me he only used 1 set of tires in the comp.
Wow.
Yeah.
As opposed, look at that squat.
Yeah.
He's like twerk mobile.
It's like a big booty girl working out.
What's your spring rates, cuz? Is that what that is? I don't know. What do the kids say?
It's like pro squat or anti-squat or something, suspension nerdy.
What's your squat rate, cuz?
I think we both have little legs, it's not a lot.
Look, no tire smoke. He's just like feathering the lowest amount of throttle possible to
He's
get through.
Harrisoning it. All right, here's something you don't see every day. Although at round 3 we had 3 Mark III Supras.
What?
This is Hollywood. Yeah, I thought that was really weird. We had 4 370Zs as well, or 5. So this is a 1JZ Mark III Supra in the front, and you can see he's really fighting the car quite a bit. He keeps weight shifting it forward to back to forward to back, forward to back. So I assume he's having to clutch kick or like e-brake constantly to keep the car in drift. I'm not sure what's going on.
Really upsets the car, it looks like.
This is Zach Mitchumore versus Jack Davis, I believe, in the follow car. Man, Zach
Probably
is,
one of the fastest car in our series.
Yeah, Zach is fast. Zach does have a built LS3, I believe, that makes about 500 wheel. A dog box, and the car weighs 2,500 pounds. And very interestingly, he's about the only S14 I know of in our series that runs a square tire setup. He runs KR20 Kenda 265s all the way around the car.
The car looks fantastic. It looks like it drives so well.
Yeah. It's a little bit faster than the Corvette engine, which is interesting, considering it's on Kendas.
Big left foot brake from Zach.
The lead car was pretty far off the clip. The lead car should be about 3 feet off each clipping point, and when they go really wide, there's a big deduction. I should insert some video in a second. You can see the round 2 video I made. Like, driving through these barriers is like a tunnel, and it's very different than it looks. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, both Patrick and I drove at the event. I drove my Corvette, and he drove his S13.
It does have a tunnel effect.
Did you win this event?
No.
Oh. Never mind.
Awkward.
Yeah, very awkward. Did you win an event this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you've won an event before. Anyways, this track was incredibly fun in tandem because you're kind of on the inside of each inner clip and then to the outside of the bigger, taller barriers and then to the inside again and to the outside.
I agree. It's really fun to drive, especially getting like nosing into the inside clip of the barriers and
yeah, because we're
through the long
nosing
links.
all the short barriers that like the ones they just passed are always inners, and those tall yellow ones are outers. So not just outers everywhere, but also they're blocking the track so people can't go the wrong way on track, like that car in the back right now.
In some areas, you have to really like the line, like the area like of how wide you can take a line. Like, how do I explain this? It's a very narrow part of the track to make the like the link right.
Yeah.
You have to keep like a very steady line. Whee!
That's Logan in the Turbo Miata in Pro-Am.
That thing is ripping. It's so fast, it looks like. And the V8 car is just nowhere to be found.
You didn't push that cone right. That thing's rad.
It is very rad. So look, they got to stop and start that time. So the 2 drivers agreed to stop and start from the beginning, which is, I think it's very cool.
Yeah. So you don't actually need to stop. You just need to pass through at the same time. Some of the drivers were getting a little overzealous and
just going full throttle drag race down the straight, and like before even like around the corner, they were just full throttle. Like,
did they do that in Texas Street? They do against you?
yeah. I mean, like,
Everybody.
absolutely footage of you.
Everybody got really excited.
It's true.
We're gonna have an extra pace cone to force the lead the lead car way farther out, which will force them much slower around that corner to solve that next time. We won't be doing this track next time, but you get the idea. Next time we do one of these tracks.
I would love to do this track again, though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but
So if you notice in that one, like the follow car entered even before the before the lead car.
yeah,
I don't know, because he's obviously never driven with this guy, I would think.
the lead car was way wide right there. So that's Adam.
Oh! I forget what happens in this battle, because that was a pretty hard... That's like straight driving right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess the Mustang
That's
maybe
obviously
spins.
a 0 for both.
Yeah. For both, you think? Did both of us? I don't know. Big e-brake Manji. See, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's a double e-brake Manji. Weird technique, but it counts, I guess.
Yeah, Spencer's a bit wide there and offline, but he's clearly in drift, and it looks like, very quality driving. just a bit off the proper line.
He's very smooth driving out, just off the line.
But he's definitely going to advance here compared to the last lap. Hey, look, it's the crowd. Hi, guys.
Ooh. Double SR cars. Throws a
That was
nice
nice.
Manji entrance, looking solid. I think this is a good battle from what I remember.
Yeah. Adam's really being careful with the amount of angle he's throwing so that he can stay in the chase really well. He's also timing the transitions really, really well.
Yeah,
Julian
look at
looks
that.
super solid, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them look fantastic so far. Like, this is really good. Oh, throws more angle a little bit.
Julian's a little shallow on angle there, though. I would like to see a little bit more aggressive angle there. That Ford truck, though. Alright, Adam's a bit faster down the straight.
These cars make about equal power, though, so...
Right here, by the
distracting.
way, you need to decelerate pretty fast, and Adam went really wide right there.
Super wide in the clip.
Yeah, so he's going too wide there. The car looks really good, but you'll notice
He missed both the inside clips right there, just completely so super offline. But he is hauling ass.
makes it kind of hard to follow, though, if you're Julian. Julian's just in constant catch-up mode and super far back. Makes it hard to judge, too. Alright, this is a 350Z that is actually aspirating, I think. No, it's nitrous, actually, I think. Versus Michael Van Schellenbach. He's all the way to the outside there, super far outside, way offline.
He gets
Michael
passed.
cuts him off. That is a legal pass because the rear car was so far off.
I could see how that could be controversial, though, because he didn't go 2 tires off. He didn't fall in a drift. He just went super wide. But I mean, technically, the follow driver is supposed to follow that. Even if he's not stay on track, stay in drift. Lots of squat. Look at that. Gosh, dang, squat gang. So much grip.
He's starting to throw off more tire smoke if you notice too now. It's interesting, he throws off more tire smoke on e-brake than he is on the gas. Normally Michael Van Schellenbach would just floor it and just demolish these tires.
Upshifts to 5th.
Alright, this is Hollywood versus Nick Novak. Nick in the rear has a S54 turbo M3 motor and his E36. You'll see a lot of steering work from Nick. I think he's having a lot of trouble staying behind the Supra. The Supra's making a lot of corrections offline, and also he's having a hard time staying in drift. Nick's car looks a lot more solid in drift. It's interesting too, I think Nick Novak had some mechanical issues this round.
Doesn't look like it. He's being pretty smooth, but it's a very hard car to follow.
Alright, here's Cagle Johnson versus Zach Mitchell. Cagle has basically an HR350Z that makes about 300 wheel with WiseFab against a 500 wheel S14 that weighs less. Cagle adds a bunch of angle all at once right there, kind of awkward.
Lots of steering input.
A lot of the steering input on the blue car is kind of at the wrong time too. You should use the angle to decelerate the car, not an acceleration zone like he did. Looks good though.
Zach matches transition timing really nicely.
Yeah. Again, the 350Z went a little bit too big angle right at the end when he should have been modulating his angle. So he's kind of
Super
using the
fast
wise.
entrance.
Oh wow!
Wow.
He
just has
burns
a
the 350Z.
complete left foot brake entrance to slow down his car because he's going so fast. He just burned the Z. He's just like completely gone.
Yeah. You're not even getting them both in the same camera shot. Pretty sure Zach won this one.
Whew.
Cagle's just kind of playing catch up at that point. That's tough when your other car you're going against is so fast.
Yeah, it's literally just like too fast.
All right, this blue car is the same deal. It's a 600 horsepower supercharged LS2 S13. So it weighs less. Ooh, he just hit the outside line and knocked a bunch of cones down. He also has sketchy angle right there. But that car is fast. And of course, when you're going that much faster into the corner, you might have some issues slowing down the car and controlling the angle as well.
Yeah, those guys with the fast cars are entering super fast, like, so it's very hard to control with like throwing the amount of angle they are.
Another note, I was judging this, and when the cars are this far apart, it's actually really hard to judge because you're watching two cars significantly far apart.
That's like 2 different runs.
Yeah. Especially when we had so much crazy weather this weekend. We had a huge hailstorm and tornadoes and everything.
You can see how it would be much easier to judge when the cars are closer and the mistakes are obvious.
Yeah. Follow car is looking amazing. This is one of the Torres family racing cars. They're fielding 4 to 5 cars, I think, in the field right now.
Fielding.
Logan. Man, Fielding's car is fast compared to Logan. A lot of left foot brake right there. Again, this is a dog leg, so that's not one smooth sweeper. It's down straight, cut to the right, and then decelerate sharply and do a hairpin.
It's really hard to tell from this angle how close they're getting to that first inner clip on the entrance turn.
Yeah. But we can at least tell what their, general mistakes are.
You could tell if they're super wide though, like that's obvious. They're just like washing out, like hitting like the back cones. So far, it's a pretty standard lead run.
I'm gonna have to add at the beginning of this video a run through the tunnel of this so you can see what the lap looks like from inside a car. It looks so good. Also, right there, the cars unload and get much like all the grip goes away, so you kind of have to float the car right there. Notice Fielding really floated the car to the outside right there.
He's really doing well trying to follow his whatever the lead car's line is.
Yeah, he's really close too. Fielding's car used to look like it was always making a smoke cloud and like really heavily drifting. Late transition by Fielding right there. But he kind of built his car to run like Harrison Johnson now, who's one of our champion drivers that's always winning. So his car's not making huge smoke. He's like digging constantly and moving forward. It's interesting to see him change both his driving style and his car setup so much.
Not very intense, like drifting looking style.
Yeah, but it wins. This is Brian McKay and his JZSC. That's purple. Looks really good. Brian continually gets better too. He's one of those drivers that you can see constant improvement in.
Agreed.
His car looks a little softly sprung right there.
It's always looked like that. I feel like it just always goes up and down.
Little thing to mention, Spencer had a late transition there. It'd be nice to see a little bit more same time transition. Notice Brian McKay has a couple little corrections there. Spencer went a bit wide on his lead run. Now, something to mention, when a driver is making a lead run, it's his responsibility to hit all the clipping points properly, and it's the following driver's responsibility to hit all the exact areas of the track. Just basically follow the lead driver. So if the lead driver is off the clips, it is not the responsibility of the follow driver to hit those clips. It's the responsibility of the follow driver to run the same line. Whoa, that's aggressive. Look at all that front tire smoke and braking. I was going to say, it reminds me about the race car, how it has a different colored headlight. Yeah. $2,000 worth of stickers on it.
But not run a front or rear bumper.
I mean, not even a bash bar. Just running into stuff.
You don't even need a fan shroud.
You'll notice that bash bar is held onto the ratchet strap.
I've been that guy before.
Feel like you're that guy now.
Shut up.
Ooh, Scotch is fast. Holy cow. Notice Scotch didn't have a bunch of left foot braking there on the front tire, like locking up the tire. He didn't brake lock the front. He did pretty heavily.
Pretty decent line so far as far as the lead car.
You'll notice the follow car isn't transitioning very snappily.
It's just lazy.
Yeah, the follow car is really, lazy.
lazy transitions. You could tell.
I wonder why that is. If the car just has less grip or what. All right, here's Nick in the Supra again. This is probably a one more time we were visiting because this footage is in chronological order.
Did you say Super?
Yeah, the rear car is a Supra. The flat black car.
Oh. I thought you said Nick in the Supra. It's Nick and the Supra.
Yeah.
Wow, he left it. He's gone.
Yup. Also, Nick took the wing off of his car. I wonder why.
Too much rear grip, obviously.
Can you ever have that if you have 500 horsepower?
Ask Michael Van Schellenbeck.
Mike doesn't have too much grip. All right, here we go. We have what looks like an S13. I'm not sure who's in front, and Adam again. Ooh, Adam's aggressive.
I don't think he almost had to reinitiate.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adam's run kind of fell apart right after that aggressive entry. Now he's kind of falling like far behind. He has a nice transition right there, though.
It's a very smooth transition, but it wasn't like on the line as far as like the lead driver. It was just like a.
Did you notice he just transitioned before the front driver?
That's
right
cool
there?
to see. I like that.
Yeah, that's
that
pretty
made up
rad.
for whatever it was before that.
Right there, it was a split second, like after, but that one it was before. All right, let's see if the black car can throw down.
It's very fun to watch when the follow driver transitions before the lead driver. He doesn't left foot brake at all on his lead runs.
You'll notice Adam is
Super
way
wide.
off.
Just
Yeah,
like
super wide there, way off line.
not very close to the barriers, but hitting the wide part on that second right there. I don't know if that's an outer zone, but I think it was just an inside clip.
Interesting there, I saw the black car need to e-brake in there for some reason. I think a couple of those e-brake, it's a deceleration technique, and it's slowing him down because he's using it to try and make the car feel more stable for some reason, and it's letting Adam get away. He should probably eliminate that e-brake from his technique right there. At least when he's so far away.
All right, this battle is going to show a clear example of drag racing down the street.
Oh man!
Oh.
That's not what I expected. Notice the green car came away unscathed. He has a big splitter on the car, so he just bumps that barrier. So those cars can bump those smaller barriers and there's no damage.
Packed.
And now we have to go move them back. Those barriers are so much more
angle.
fun than cones, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. I don't know. More like 80% agree. I mean, they're fun,
I enjoy them.
but like,
Oh, you have fiberglass, so you can.
yeah.
Woo! Michael just drag raced the crap out of him.
Yeah, he is gone at this point. Just completely two separate runs right now.
Yep. JR probably should have came to a stop, but he was probably a little flustered back there. Because Michael got so far away from him, as he came around that first corner onto the straight, he should have just come to a complete stop, and that would have reset the run. So Michael would then have to come all the way back around, stop, and start running again. But Michael just got away from him, and I think that you just get flustered right in that moment.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's within his right to stop right there and restart the run.
There's a lot more things going through your head.
Woo! That's
And
not
he's
good.
out.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a mechanical failure.
Arm out the window. He's lit.
So True kind of screwed us on this one. We're up at the shop late at night. It's like midnight right now and we're recording this. True shut off the air conditioning on us. It is now 85 degrees in here while we record this. I love seeing this Camaro out there. Watch the driver's side wheel. It was wobbling like crazy.
Kind of like 240s do when you hit like max angle.
Well, when they have broken tension rods.
Yeah, and everything's
Yeah.
loose because you don't like nut and bolt your car.
It's cool to see a unique car like that. It's going to do it again, maybe.
It looks like it works so well though. Like, look how smooth it is. It's not like
Yeah,
I love that
know.
car. It's awesome.
I like it too. It's LS1, right?
It is.
Alright, watch on entry now when he gets to that sweeper. Watch that inside driver's side wheel. Let's see if it wobbles. Oh, we're not going to get to see it.
He's obviously a lot further behind than the other car was when they were switched positions.
Yeah, it sucks to play catch up like this. It's kind of a mess.
Wow, very snappy transition right there.
I was gonna say, especially against some E36s, that's fast. The E36s, especially with that much power and stuff, with Michael and Nick's, like, those are hard cars to follow. Ooh, just like these cars, both these cars are super fast. These guys hit and practice really hard.
It's actually pretty aggressive.
Yeah. So if you go watch our round 2 video, it actually starts off with these guys just like 60 mile an hour impact. And their cars still look this good.
Oh, so much angle. And smoke, too.
Yeah, I remember watching this and trying to judge. We literally couldn't see the cars. But something happened there.
I think the orange car probably parked it.
Yeah.
And Zach probably ran into it. Or had to stop before he ran into him.
That Max's car is so cool.
It is very cool.
I want to drive it, but I also don't want to break it, so I won't. Not that that's even an offer on the table. Here we're just kind of playing catch-up again.
Oh, look, he wants him to get on his door. He's asking for it. Zach's car is too fast, though. He's the fast boy.
Look at that, throwing his hand out. He's confident. We should have eliminated him for putting his hand outside the window. All right, here comes Tyler Cotulla. This car was heavily damaged returning back from round 1. It was in a trailer pulled by a Ford Raptor when both the Ford Raptor and trailer were wrecked by a driver that hit them from behind. Ooh, that's not good. Going very fast, and this car sustained very heavy damage inside the trailer. That's why it looks so beat up right now.
Yo, he's running Hot Wheels right now in front of that car.
I assume you mean the brand, not that the car, like the wheels.
No, I'm
are
talking
Hot
like
Wheels.
KMC Hot Wheels, boy. Like the wheels that were cool before drifting.
I wonder where he found it. All right, here we go. Jonathan Torres basically drag races away from him. Good thing to have 600 horsepower sometimes, but then you have to slow down. Jonathan goes pretty wide. Looks good though. Tyler cut his line there trying to catch up a little bit, which was nice. I don't mind seeing that.
You don't wait,
But-
so you don't mind seeing like people cut their line to catch up?
Just a little bit's not bad. Like, I would rather the person gain proximity, although I hate that term. Like, I would rather the dude get closer, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it looks more fun, I agree, but like
Yeah.
there's to what extent, you know?
Well, you need to, if you're falling behind, you need to cut a line a little bit by a few feet. You can dial out a tiny bit of angle. We would rather see you get really close and do those things. Oh man, Colin's a disaster right there. What happened? Fielding holds the car back as best as he can.
Both kind of are.
No, Fielding was purposely holding the car back. I think Fielding had good control over everything. I'm not sure what happened to Colin.
He was super wide, yeah.
Maybe he misshifted or something. The whole run at this point is a bit botched from that entry, and there's a pretty big advantage to Fielding because Colin didn't throw down a good lead lap. All right, let's see here. This should be good. They're pretty close on the straight. Fielding. Ooh, that was nice. He's going fast.
It's a really cool entrance.
Fielding did a good job of
Not super
modulating his
wide
brakes.
either. That was great.
Fielding, by the way, has manual brakes in his car. I believe in that power.
Yeah.
And it really helps him not lock up the brakes at some of these times, I think. Also because he rally drives, he's probably pretty good at modulating the brakes without, you know, like going over the threshold of them.
I tried to drive a couple laps like that, and it just didn't work.
With manual brakes?
It was manual brakes, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like capped off my brake booster, and I don't know how anyone drives like that. Harrison also drives with a manual rack, no power steering.
Well, his car is meant to have a manual.
Yeah, so it's not as hard as not having. Like,
Woo! Harrison just tried to throw a backwards entry, which put him too wide, and Spencer cut him off.
this is a controversial moment.
It was. You're not allowed to throw that much angle, basically, if you cannot maintain line and you can't do it smoothly.
Personally, I think his entrance was ballin', but it was super wide, and we saw earlier that what happens when you go too wide, the follow car has the ability to just cut you off and go inside because it's an unfollowable line at that point.
Yup.
He's not expecting the lead car to throw a reverse entry.
Basically, Harrison's driving like Fielding's driving like Harrison's.
That's absolutely correct.
But Harrison's like a following monster. Look at this. If he had a split second faster transition right there, he would be all over the split circle.
Even from like behind, like that far behind, he still gets transitions timed really nicely, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, not obviously there.
Hey, look, Cy finally picked up his camera. Alex isn't even shooting. Come on, guys. Mineral Wells is a bit of a difficult place to shoot because it's a big motorcycle. But it's really fun to drive at. Ooh, Michael had a nice follow right there. He's really like modulating everything nicely and not making any mistakes, so it's really smooth.
Nice transition.
Yeah. This is starting to look like the finals. You can also see Michael lead the steering. He's not just like Nissan letting it go and grabbing it. Oh, Michael, if you would have had a tiny bit faster transition, that would have been
And
perfect.
just like gas it.
But that was amazing. That was a great run.
Drag, race, squat, machine. This thing is gone. Is it? We'll see. Yep, it's gone. And it's gone. At that point, you're just like cutting every corner, like to try to catch up. Look at that, like. And it still does not work.
Michael's car is hard to follow sometimes. Oh, this is a quick protest. So we take the time to do protests sometimes. I mean, all the time, but we try not to let the drivers do it too much. We're gonna have a cameraman come over and help us review the footage. So we have multiple cameramen. We'll review footage. We'll see what it looks like. We will give the drivers the time of day. See, look at that. This camera's coming over right now. And make sure that we made an accurate call.
That was one of many protests we have to follow.
Ooh, look at that.
Wow.
Oh, Fielding goofed. He gave that away.
Was this the one with the contact?
It might be something. Look at Fielding's side screwdriver.
I think that's what just happened, yeah, because I think they deemed someone at fault because there was contact between Adam and Fielding right there.
Yeah. Before we worry about that too much, let's see if the next lap solves it for us. That's one of the things with judging. Sometimes you'll get a really controversial run like that one that just happened, and you'll need to figure out what happened. But you might get lucky and someone just messes up and solves the entire battle for you, if you know what I mean. Makes it easy to judge. This is nice and clean. Adam's a bit wide. Fielding is
great job.
Fielding is doing great. Adam's just like he's supposed to be, like 3 feet off of everything to make it a good show. We want the lead driver about 3 feet off all the inside clips. That allows the follow driver to squeeze in a little bit.
Oh, Fielding fell off hard, it looks like.
Fielding fell off really hard. Fielding's car's fast too. Alright, we're probably going to revisit that run. Zach versus Nick. Nick's on a more inside line there, which means he's going to slow down quite a bit when he has to make it to our side. His transition is basically
Zach is taking like a racing line through the whole course. So if you're not also on the racing line as him, you're not going to be as fast.
Yeah. I like how it constantly zooms in on my truck. For no good reason.
Luckily, Zach's car is fast. He doesn't get left in the straight.
Yeah. It looks like there's a few car lengths there, but we're kind of booking it, so like that gets closed extremely quickly on this inner clip. Zach stalls out a tiny bit right there. Zach also, with the dog box, can change gears a little bit faster than some of the guys sometimes, and more accurately. because it's a 4-speed dog box.
And he fell off hard.
Yup. And he probably with a 500 like wheel car doesn't even have to shift if he doesn't want to. What's going on here? Adam must have been eliminated in the last battle because he did make contact on his first lap. We reviewed the footage and there was a mark on Fielding's door and everything. And his side skirt's about to fall off because of it.
Super wide line.
That is a little bit controversial of a call. I was judging, but we have to make a call whether or not the hit disrupts the car in front. And since this is not Formula D and this is Pro-Am, we're a little bit more in the realm of don't hit the car and disrupt them. In Formula D, you can hit the car a little bit more aggressively.
You notice in that last run, Van Schellenbeck had to e-brake and cut the line super hard to try to close proximity on Fielding right after this point. Right here is when he cut the line really hard, but Fielding does a much better job following him right there. Doesn't have to cut the line or anything. It's very smooth. Just not as close.
Yeah.
But he gets left, boy.
Yeah, he gets left. He could have tried to probably transition a half second earlier and kind of keep up a bit more. Ooh, Zach just got left.
He fell off hard.
Ooh! But Spencer screws up and basically hands it to him. Very interesting there.
So by throwing too much angle in the sweeper right there, he kind of almost parked it, and then allowed Zach to just regain all the ground he just made it, or he just lost or whatever. Super close, boy. Dang, that transition was really nice too.
Yeah, Spencer kind of goofed there a little bit. They're putting up some smoke now. Zach has more consistent angle if you watch through the track too.
His steering wheels don't waver or anything either. It's very smooth, like steering input.
Yeah,
which is a huge thing.
Both of those cars are really well put together too.
Absolutely. So I'm assuming this is one more time.
Yeah. Those are really even battles. While we were watching, I was kind of wondering what was going on.
Super wide line. I'm assuming they're running out of tires at this point, so they almost look flat for a Fielding's car.
Yeah.
And Schellenbeck is not going to let him get away, though. Ooh, he's right there.
He's a master at those follow laps. Drag raced him a little tiny bit around the corner after the clipping point, or not the clipping point, that cone
pace
thing.
cone.
Pace cone, there you go. And then Fielding just kind of gets out of the way. You can also see Fielding's tires are going quite a bit too. Like he has no grip left in the car. These guys are trying to make one set of tires work the entire comp. Just kind of obvious to start seeing like the grip differences and stuff.
Think about FD drivers and like Pro 2 drivers will use like one set of tires like every battle.
Yeah. So if they go one more time, they have to get a new set. Ooh, Zach screws up a little bit. That's interesting.
This is also
Spencer
one more
goes,
time.
yeah, Spencer goes super wide. Come on, Zach, transition well. Woo! Zach wouldn't have been able to transition on time there, but Spencer transitioned super late if you notice that. Ooh, Spencer's not giving it to him around that corner. And look at that little drone go.
He is not letting him get away.
Looks like a pretty even lap so far. Nice transition with Spencer. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Remember, from our angle, we can't necessarily see the clips and stuff. There, Spencer had a late transition. We can't see which driver is doing best on clips and everything. The judges do have a higher perspective, so sometimes you'll watch video from this camera angle and you won't get the whole story, just to warn you. This camera view can be pretty biased.
Yeah, because you can't even see the clip down there.
Yeah, like Spencer was just almost off track. He was so wide.
It's almost a flat plane view.
If you look closely on the ground too, there is chalk outline everywhere, so the judges can see a very specific track. So if you go more than 2 wheels off, you're off. You can dip a wheel, though, no problem. That was really nice. Whoa, here we go again.
I wonder if they changed tires in between this. If that worked out. This is about where I pick up tires from them and use them for the whole event.
Is that really true? You use used tires for every event?
This is absolutely 100% true.
I do not know how that works.
Zach Mitchmore gave me 6 tires, and they were all his like scrubs and stuff like this. They last me the whole event.
The red car is a 2JZ car with a GTX 3582, and the follow car is a KAT car with an unknown turbo to me. Interesting to see the KA car. It is a dual cam car. It used to be single cam car. Woo, that was beautiful. Oh, bonk. That was beautiful. I love how it didn't phase fielding whatsoever.
He stayed in it 100%.
Yeah, I like how the lead car didn't play soccer player and like throw himself on the ground.
Transition perfect. Kind of lazy.
All right, Philly took his bumper off.
I guess this is one more time.
Yeah. Bonk. You can see good contact there. There was even smoke on it. Oh, fielding bumps. Well, I guess that's gonna call that.
That's that.
I think we have one more battle left, don't we? God, I hope all this audio recorded. We just did like a 50-minute session.
Has it really been that long?
Close, we're at 46 minutes. Doesn't feel that long. It's kind of fun to watch it for.
This is our 1 and 2 battle right here.
Uh-oh. Michael Van Schellenbeck in the large turbo, very large turbo.
Extremely large turbo.
I think it's an M50 or M52 BMW engine.
Did you say BMW engine?
Turbo. Zacky Boys in an LS3.
NASCAR sounds, dog box noises.
Beautiful transition by Michael.
Lots of angle by Zach too. This is a fantastic lead run so far.
Transition. Oh, almost perfect transition.
Kind of blazing. Kind of dives in the inside, trying to stay closer.
Yeah.
Driving with almost no angle too.
Yeah, you'll
His
notice
hair's
Michael's. Yeah. It works though to get close sometimes.
It does.
It's just like when you're dissecting the runs like this and you have time to watch.
Drag race and gone.
You can call
almost.
people out.
Is it? Squat City.
Come on, Zach. Get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there. Yeah!
Wow.
That was good. That was really good. Oh man, I'm rooting for Zach.
Oh, he should have transitioned a little bit earlier, a little bit more snappier to slingshot his way in there. Looks like he almost has more angle than Mike. Therefore, Owens will not catch up with that.
Woo.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, I think we know who won now. I mean, like, the judges know. That's interesting, though. We're about to find out who won, but it looks slightly different in the video than how it actually turned out. It's one of those camera tricks.
I agree, yeah.
There's Zach. That's a really cool looking car. That's Fielding's old body kit, I think.
A lot of these battles turned out different than I thought they were going to when I'm watching it from camera.
Yeah. That's because we don't have an elevated platform and we're not judging, like we're looking mostly at proximity and little things, where the lead car running the correct line is actually a really big decider. And it's very hard to look at that when we're doing our thing.
Damn, who's that guy? He's one cool ass dude. Look at that safari hat.
fucking spits all over
Yeah,
their dash.
What an idiot.
The fourth place is fielding Shredder.
Who are these jabronis?
All right, in third place, that leaves Spencer. With
So the guy in that Coca-Cola shirt only eats McDonald's. His name is Zach.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong because it's
The guy in the Lone Star Drift shirt, that's fielding. Oh, Michael won. Good job, Michael.
Oh,
Get that cheap champagne. Champagne shot.
Set and two one more time.
good, 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 good.
He looks so happy. So that's
Is that his first win? I think it's his first
Yeah, I
win.
think that's his first win ever. Congratulations, Michael. Congratulations.
We're seeing, so he's like what I would consider like an OG of Lone Star Drift, maybe, right? He's been driving with you guys for a long time.
Yeah, probably about 6 years or so.
I mean, like almost as long as fielding. And
Yeah, he got into it because he used to hang out with Chelsea Denofa
So-
when Chelsea was driving.
this is his first win, and fielding got his first win last year. So like, think about how long it takes for these drivers.
Harrison and David take all the wins.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick, let's go get tacos and lock this place up.
Bye.
All right, bye, everybody. Hey, huge shout out to the sponsors. I want to thank at this round ECU Master because Michael Van Schellenbeck gets to choose a prize from our Pro-Am pool. He chose the ECU Master prize. Instead of getting a standalone for his car, he's getting a PMU, which I believe is a power management unit, which converts his car from a fuse and relay setup over to a solid state setup, which the ECU or the PMU setup can now log and do all kinds of cool stuff, reset fuses and relays on the go, and it converts your car to CAN bus, which is insane because typically we think about getting a newer car and putting an older motor in it and converting it from CAN bus to some super archaic wiring harness that we can like comprehend. But instead with this setup, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. CAN bus, like sky's the limit. So go check it out on their website because I don't want to butcher the explanation. Go to ecumaster.com and look up the PMU unit to see what Michael won. He also won a $250 AEM gift certificate for AEM intakes. He also won a Sickie handbrake for one of their hydraulic handbrake setups. So thanks to AEM intakes and also Sickie Manufacturing and ECU Master. Thank you so much. Bye.